And I think we in our society have been trained to be mad. We've been trained to be afraid. We've been trained to fight. I understand that some of the viewpoints I share in this video might trigger some people, and some of the topics that I discuss someone would be offended by, and I apologize for that. It is by no means my intention. But I wanted to share a story that kind of got me to start thinking about this, and I had already been sort of pondering about it and talked a little bit about it at conference. And that is, the story is about one of our franchisees. They made a comment in our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group for Augusta lawn care owners. And they had mentioned one of their customers had contacted them, and this customer was very unhappy and was offended by one of the franchisee's employees that came by their house and on their truck had a big United States flag. And this customer thought that was offensive and said the flags were offensive and that they wanted it removed and that it was harmful to the business, and wanted this business owner to take action on removing the flags from their employee's truck. Now, the first inclination is always to be triggered. And I think we in our society have been trained to be mad. We've been trained to be afraid. We've been trained to fight, mostly due to the fact that we have also been addicted to the fact that we can take emotional roller coasters of highs and lows within a matter of a few moments by going into our phone. If you want to be laughing and have an emotional high in the next few minutes, you can easily tap into YouTube and be laughing in a few moments. You can also be extremely afraid if you search conspiracy theories or political agendas. You can also be very angry by also looking at political views opposing to yours, economic theorists that would say that everything is falling, and potentially also feel very mad at someone that is making you feel as if you are being a victim, that someone else is out to get your lunch, so that someone else is out to get you because of your ethnicity, because of your weight, because of your gender, whatever it might be. And because of those things, you're triggered and you're afraid. And when we say triggered, it is an emotional response. And I truly believe, triggered has been used in such a way now, but I really believe that triggered ties to our emotions, and your emotions in business cloud your judgment, and it clouds your ability to make good business decisions. I look at business leaders, people that I look up to that have changed industries, impacted a lot of people's lives, made a lot of jobs, created technology that revolutionized humanity. And most billionaires are not super emotional people. They don't get into a room and rah, rah, rah and get excited. And so the reason I believe that, I truly believe that in order to eliminate, in order to circumnavigate the low lows of depression and anxiety and wanting to give up in your business, you've got to sacrifice the high highs of very high emotions, right? We all know it's like to have a day where you just don't have any emotions. You're just like, just don't want to do this, and you just feel low. But if we're going to attack those areas that are so low in our emotions, we've also got to realize that the high emotions is what's actually causing the lows. The high emotions of anger and getting very emotional about someone did something wrong to me and I've been wronged, and that I am afraid because there's injustices and there's things that are happening in this world and people are dying and it's not fair. This sort of emotion, in my opinion, is what causes irrational behavior as business owners. And it causes us to eventually give up. Say, well, how is that possible? When you look at the emotions of high highs, and euphoria, and then the low lows and cortisol being pumped through our bloodstream because we're afraid, we're stressed out. This massive roller coaster is what eventually leads to businesses failing. Because eventually you fail, you give up, you throw in the towel as a business owner at one of those low, low moments. It's times when you financially don't feel like you can make it, when a customer is cussing you out, when an employee is screaming at you and leaving, walking off the job, when you're backed up, when the loan doesn't go through. All of these things in our business are the low, low moments that compound, and all of a sudden we're in this moment where we give up. And giving up is the ultimate death in business. Because as long as you stay in the game, as long as you get back up, And as long as you stay in business long enough, your chances of success dramatically go up. If any business has been around for 20, 30 years, there's a really good chance it's at least figured something out to be successful. And so if you can just stay in the game, you'll almost always become successful eventually. So in business, it's not a matter of a sprint. It's not who does best now. It's like, you just need to stay in the game. You've got to make sure that when those low moments of emotion come, that you actually just get back up. So the question is, well, how do I stay in the game? And in my mind, it's have lower highs and higher lows. When you feel emotional and everything is going good and great in your business, you're so psyched because you got this great customer, these are great employees, and everything is going your way. Don't allow that emotion, that high of euphoria, to get you too involved in the moment to where you can't step back and realize that the next week you could be in the trough and the gutter of those employees leaving, that customer saying that you're a bad person, that job going south. All of the things that is causing the emotional high now that you're addicted to and you've thrown yourself into will be the same throws that will actually put you out of business when you get to low lows. And you will have them. You can depend on having low lows in business. But whether or not you give up during that moment is a lot of times whether or not you're triggered by emotional things in your business. The reason I've deleted my news apps off my phone is because the news preys on your emotions. They want to make you angry. They want to make you happy. They want to make you sad. They want to make you afraid. These are all emotions that they are preying on to make money, to tag off of my emotions. This is why so many people are depressed and anxious, because this constant emotional roller coaster, our bodies are not built. Our bodies are not built to tap into cortisol within a matter of a few seconds, to tap into these hormones pumping through our body that we're not built for this. And so if you can know that and step back and realize that when things are going really well for you, you'll say, hey, step back. This is fantastic. I enjoy this moment. But you know what? I'm not going to get so wrapped up in this. I'm going to go get drunk on the weekend. I'm not going to get so wrapped up in this. I'm going to do something stupid. I'm not going to get wrapped up in this. I go way into debt because everything's so good in my business. I'm not going to put all of my emotional eggs in the basket of my business this week because I know that potentially in a week or two, these things might unravel. And if you do that, some people will call you boring. Why don't you just take a victory lap? You're doing so good. Why don't you just enjoy the moment, right? And they're right. You will be taken as boring. And I truly believe some of the best business leaders have a relatively boring predisposition because they're so emotionally level that they don't allow the high highs or the low lows to affect them, and therefore they make balanced business decisions.